because a lot of sports, probably some genetics. I've had really bad knees for some time now, probably 6 or 8 years. They were starting to get to the place where it was inhibiting functioning. And I'm a golfer, competitive golfer, and it was really it was getting to the place where I wasn't able to do the things with my family that I wanted to do. We love hiking, we love walking and skiing and all of that, and my golf, but I was limping through it, so to speak, because I just didn't want to go through it, and so I was doing a bunch of stuff to put it off, as long as I can. And finally, at the end of last year, roughly November, there were 2 rounds of golf that I had to leave the course. I couldn't finish. Um, and at that point, I knew I got to do something. I'm in denial. I got to do something. I mean, I live in Los Angeles. Obviously, there's many great healthcare systems and hospitals, facilities, and great surgeons. But the thing to me, when you're talking about significant surgery, knee replacement's a big deal. What was important to me was a personal referral. And so I have a good friend, and he said, you have to come back here. And I said, to Little Rock? I live in LA. And he said, no. He said, you got to come back here because Dr. Barnes, he said, everybody I know, they've always, if they have to have it done, that's who they'd go to. And so I started to look into it. I looked into the system. I looked into, he's not just a surgeon. He's done, extensive work and research and development in some of the devices, and just did my due diligence. And so here I am, and I'm glad I did. I was talking to Dr. Barnes about this in the last few days. I've had several surgeries and several different healthcare systems, big systems, great ones. I won't mention them by name. And I told him, I said, really, I'm not blowing smoke here. I said, the way the system, forget you, Dr. Barnes, forget you and your nurses, which you are all fantastic, but I'm talking about the system. I was overwhelmed at how well the system performed and served me in this. From the moment we set up the appointment for the surgery day, from that very moment, they were all over it. I started, like, every day I would get some sort of delivery of, here's your appointment, here's how to do it, here's what we're doing about COVID, here's where you got to be, here's the number to call if you have a problem. And literally, there's a lot of appointments that go into a surgery like this. You have pre-op, and you got the medical pre-op, and you got the exam, and you got, all the PT to set up afterwards. And they were just, it all worked. I never was on a phone with a phone tree wondering, does anybody live here? It really, really worked. And a lot of my work is with big companies and organizations, and working with CEOs and global entities, big companies, and I know how difficult operations are, and especially in a pandemic, to pull it off like they pulled it off. At least that's my experience. I would say it was flawless, and they did a fantastic job. Well, I think a lot of things inspire me. Initially when I went into the helping field, it was because I came into it, honestly, I needed help. I got really depressed in college, and had a hard time, and had to kind of learn how do you make life work, and that led to being a psychologist, and got interested in it, and then I really enjoyed the path of entering into that path with other people. And I love, I love the arc. I love to see somebody, whether it's a leader in business or a family or whoever it is, a company, I love to see them go through that arc of getting from here to there. And because especially in leadership, when a leader gets better, everybody wins. And so that inspires me. And for me, a big part of it comes from my faith, that I think, God puts us here, and He gives us each whatever our abilities are, and we're supposed to enjoy those. And I think we do when we find kind of the right spot. But it's not to be spent just enjoying them, because the most enjoyment is in using what we do to help other people, and that's when it all works. So that's what I love to do.